Welcome to Sober.Coffee, a weekly coffee chat sharing experience, strength, and hope for anyone on the sober road to recovery. You can download Sober.Coffee weekly on all podcast platforms and check us out on Instagram at Sober.Coffee Podcast and on Twitter at Sober.Coffee Pod. To learn more about us and to help support these sessions, visit online at Sober.Coffee. Here are your hosts, two guys on their own path to recovery, Mike and Glenn. Let's join them at the coffee shop.
Mr. Glenn, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Oh, my goodness. How are you this morning?
I just love being in the coffee shop with you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I can't
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. 1 year since the last festivities. I'm a little pissed off this morning, though.
Again?
Yeah, because every holiday seems to have their own music, right? But Thanksgiving doesn't have, like, a song.
Oh, it totally does.
What? Oh, talk to me.
It totally does. So, well, at least for me it does.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I had to remember the name of the song. So every Thanksgiving for me, it was a tradition. We would go down and pick up my grandparents. So I grew up in Philadelphia, and they were about 30. They lived in the city, we lived in the suburbs, and we would drive down and pick them up and come back. And every Thanksgiving they played this song. It's like a 15-minute song on the radio, on the AM radio, my dad's car.
Okay.
It was for years only AM radio. And then when I would go to college, I would drive home on Thanksgiving morning for college from Virginia to Philly, and we would play this song. So it's Arlo Guthrie's Alice's Restaurant.
Okay.
So you got to listen to it today, and it's just a folky type song that goes on and on and on and on and on, and so that's my Thanksgiving song. It's a little different than the Christmas holidays.
I'm a little happier then because I'm just like,
them.
come on, man, how about us put some music to go with this holiday?
You got to listen to Arlo.
All right,
Arlo's the guy. So hey, just how things happen, right? I got my folio for Sober.Coffee Podcast, and I open it up and I get this bookmark that I haven't ever seen before, and I just want to read it.
Okay.
And so it's the Serenity Prayer, the extended one. But I thought it'd be good to just take a pause and hear the whole thing, because a lot of times we rattle it off in meetings, or we hear it through the day or see it. So here's the extended one. It's God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as he did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next.
Wow, yeah, we don't
Boom.
We don't do that. We do the short version. We do the
probably the first time I thought about what it
for
actually
radio
said,
version, right?
you know. But
Quite a lot in there.
yeah, it says that I may be reasonably happy in this life. You know, I think that's the bar, that's the expectations, right? And I think if you just say, hey, I'm going to take every day as it is, and so Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. So quick question, dig back to your past. What was your typical Thanksgiving pre-sobriety?
All about Mike. It was all about Mike. It was my holiday. I love it. I love this holiday more than
same
any
as
other
Halloween,
holiday.
same as July 4th, same as Christmas, all about you, right?
Yeah, all about me. But this one in particular, it was about me. Truth be told, it was about the party of it all. Back in the college days, all my friends went away to school, and so Thursday night, the night before, or Wednesday night, the day before Thanksgiving, everybody was making their way back to Chicago, and we would accumulate and just get totally blitzed. I can tell you how many in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, how many Thanksgivings I didn't have a bite of food, and so then that kind of carried on to my adult life, and it was more about the booze than it was about the banter of the food and the family and everything else. I just need to make sure I had a bar stocked and plenty of drinks flowing. That's how life was. Even though I loved the family piece of it, I mean, I told myself I loved it, but I didn't act like I loved it. Does that make sense?
Well, no, you tolerated it.
Yeah,
I mean, that was something to do while you were drinking. So what I understand, and I get it, they say that Wednesday night, before Thanksgiving is like for the pros.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
That New Year's Eve is for the rookies,
right?
The wannabe drinkers. But if you're really pounding them, so they say that's the number one night of the year.
Yeah.
Dangerous night out there.
Yeah.
And then, so what does Thanksgiving look like for you today?
Oh, my goodness. It is a world of difference. It's my favorite holiday still. Probably now accelerated or expanded my appreciation of the day. It's all about the family, really. It's about family. Then it's about the food, and it's
that you can actually eat and taste.
Right. And I still don't eat a lot, but the fact of the matter is, just watching the enjoyment of everybody. We have the smallest house of my siblings. I have the smallest house. But years ago, because it was all about me, I just said, I'm having Thanksgiving. I don't care if you come, but if you want to come over, you're more than welcome. Well, everybody does now. They come over. The house is packed, 35, 40 people, small footprint. It's just chaotic, and everybody loves every ounce of it. It's a beautiful thing.
That's amazing. I know, and I know you actually look forward to it. That's amazing. And I thinking back, I remember when I was in early sobriety. At one point I chaired the Thursday 7 a.m. meetings. Mm-hmm. So of course, once a year I get the Thanksgiving meeting, and we'd always have like 60 or 70 people, and it was always a meeting of gratitude, right? So when I think of Thanksgiving, I think of that gratitude. And first thing I do is open my Thanksgiving. Instead of being hungover, I go to a meeting. Mm-hmm. And my family knows, I'm not around on Thanksgiving morning because I'm at a meeting, being grateful for, my number one thing, and that's sobriety. In fact, I laugh. Were you at the church meeting the other night when we were talking about kind of our purpose and priorities in life?
Yeah, right.
And I said, my number one priority is sobriety.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Were you there?
Yes.
Yeah. And we had a guy say, what? You mean God's not?
Right.
And
we're kind of at a church group. The right answer is always God. Right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. The fill-in is the three letters.
Sure.
G-O, starts with G and ends in D and has an O in the middle.
And he called you out on it.
Yeah, he calls me out. He goes, and it's so funny because like the 5 alcoholics in the group shot back at him, jumped on him and beat him up. Like, no, man, if we don't have sobriety, we don't have anything else.
Right.
So gratitude, and that was always a common theme in our 7 a.m.s, because of Gratitude Pete, who started the meetings. But, I mean, there's a lot to be grateful for today compared to X number of years ago.
There is. And it's easy to just talk about being grateful, but I always struggle with the person in the room who's pre-sobriety, right? Let me say it another way. I struggle because I know there's people in that room that aren't feeling grateful. And I know that it didn't happen for me overnight, but it happened to me that I became aware of what I should be grateful for based on fact. But I know that there's people in those rooms that when it comes around their time to talk, they go, "Yeah, I'm grateful," but they're not. You know what I mean? They're not feeling it, and I feel for them.
Yeah, it took me a while. I mean, it's just like everything. I'm on the slow train.
I mean, didn't it make you angry? Weren't you at great gratitude meetings where you got a little angry? You're like, "Come on, man, you have no idea what's going on in my life."
So there was a gift that I figured out early, and I don't know how I can't put my, I always say I wish I wrote a diary, right? But there's some real gems that I latched onto, and one of the things I latched onto, and kind of the first real story is, I'm on the slow train, and I always talk about that knob between faith and fact, and it's in the beginning it was stuck on faith, and it was, I don't know how, because I'm the most impatient SOB in this world, but yet I knew in sobriety, I just knew it was going to take time, and I got patience. I had the gift of patience early on. Sometimes it doesn't mean I liked it, but I recognized it. And I started to see proof, and I remember just telling myself, if you stay on this path, more will come.
Right.
And that was my and part of that. I mean, to be fully transparent, I knew the other side of the fence was all hell.
Right.
So I at least had glimpses of peace, glimpses of gratitude, glimpses of, hey, everything's going to be okay. There was none of that on the other side of the fence.
Right, sure.
I mean, the last time I drank, I mean, the booze didn't hit my stomach, and I was throwing it up.
Sure, right.
And I forget how much, 6 months sobriety or whatever. But, I mean, my body, my systems were so rebelling against booze. So, I mean, there wasn't an ounce of joy. The last time I drank, there wasn't 1 ounce of joy or fun or anything in that. It was all the immediate. My muscle reactions in my body threw it up, and I was immediately sick to my just.
And mentally, you had to be defeated.
Right. So for me to sit there, even in sitting in my shit, suffering better, was better than than what was waiting for me on the other side of the fence.
What was your worst Thanksgiving that you had? And I'll follow up with your best. Right. So
the best is probably, this Thanksgiving.
Right.
So I have three Thanksgiving stories. One, growing up, Thanksgiving was always awesome. Great family time. Great. I love my family. Just great. And it was always great coming home. And I was always the guy. And Glenn put on your personality. And we had fun.
Tell the story.
It was just fun. It was great.
Right.
And so then secondly, I remember one Thanksgiving, senior executive, all the money in the world. I was at the Ritz-Carlton in Beaver Creek skiing, and my two little girls there, and we had the Thanksgiving dinner at the restaurant. It was like $100 a person, and it was perfect. And I was drunk, and I remember excusing myself. I mean, it was like 1:00 in the afternoon.
Right.
I remember excusing myself, going upstairs and just puking. And I spent the rest of the day in the bathroom.
Right.
And that was kind of, a low point. And then my last Thanksgiving that I remember, it was Thanksgiving of 2014. I was in my 4-month program. I was in my sober living house. I didn't have a person in this world. 0. And I remember sitting by myself the entire day in the condo because everybody else went with their families.
Sure.
And I was by myself. And I remember somebody inviting me at the last minute, say, hey, if you're just hanging around, you got nothing, that's not good, you should come. And I said no.
Right.
Because I wanted to remember what that felt like. And I can remember this day. It was one of the darkest days and most alone days. And I can remember I was on my laptop and I was just going through music and I was trying to organize my music and I'm like, this is my last Thanksgiving like this. Like there is nowhere else to go but up.
And would you say that the years beyond that are like a stairwell? Progressively better.
Yep. And hey, the first Thanksgiving after that, I remember I was dating Jen, and it was, hey, come on over for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't have any confidence.
Right.
I didn't, what am I going to talk about? This is awkward. I'm with somebody's family. This is weird. Everybody's looking at me. I mean, it's just, but without a doubt, they have got progressively better. Just like in my alcoholism, it got progressively worse. Right. Recovery and Thanksgiving get progressively better. I wish I kept track, right? Because it was amazing. I have one of the most amazing Thanksgivings, coming up tomorrow, and it's just, it is a byproduct of blessings and promises in this program, and it's going to be my best favorite one ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how I will. Not that I need to top this, but I don't know how next year is ever going to top this year. I mean, I have so many cool things planned. And it's kind of quacky, life.
It's wholesome.
Jen's not home.
Yeah.
Jen's in Bangkok, and I'm by myself. But I got my daughter and her husband coming up from Kentucky with my granddaughter, and I never thought my granddaughter, little 2.5-year-old little shit, would be running around my house and playing with my dog. And and
you're not going to leave her to go puking.
No, this is my daughter. Dad, I'm never going to see you again.
Right.
Like Dad.
Now she's driving up to see you.
Yeah, wow. Now they're driving up, and then the next day we're in the city, going to see American Girl and going to have lunch and go see the lights and like wants to spend time with Pops.
Yeah.
I'm like, what kind of blessing will ever top that? And now she's pregnant and come on, man. No. It's just the whole promise is, and you know what? When there's people out there on social media, because we're out there on social media, and they're like, AA doesn't work, my heart really hurts for them. I mean, it really does. Because I'm like, you just can't get your head out of your ass. You can't get out of your own ego, and just surrender and just sit and say, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. Right. They quite often they're the smartest people in the room, and I feel for them because, and that's why I'm so, Dr. Scott Peck says the AA program's the best invention ever for this world, even more so than the cell phone, believe it or not. And he's like, hey, man, if everybody lived according to the, but it's hard. I get it. It's hard to shift gears, to get out of your head, get out of your ego. It's hard to admit, hey, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. But I'll tell you, I am so grateful for sobriety and for AA and for you and my AA brothers and my church brothers and the world that I've built. And that's been afforded to me. And the opportunities I have to give and to serve, and it's just all amazing. And
how much does the Serenity Prayer have to do with that foundation that you sit on? Just the stuff that we know that God grant me the serenity, accepting things that you can't change, and the courage to change things that you can. I mean, how much of the Serenity Prayer that you opened up with do you live?
So I think one thing. There, I use the word wisdom to know the difference. Right.
Yeah, okay.
Because for 50 years, and I laugh, and I mock the people that sit there in the AA rooms and change the words of AA, right? They're reading the book, and they're like, well, it shouldn't say that. It should say this. It should say that's just ego, right? I think, right? Or, people that change the words of the Bible. I love them, too, that just tells me immediately where people are at. But as soon as I say that, I've changed the words of the Serenity Prayer. Right. So I'm telling on myself here, but it says God.
It's a good augmentation.
Yeah. Well, and people who change the words of AA think that they're good augmentation too, right? But for me, I've changed. So it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I really have wisdom today, and when I think of situations, I'm like, okay, I can't change that. Right. Or and the next one is courage to change the things I can, and I've added the words and should, right? Because I've got personal skills, competencies, right? I can change a lot of things, right? I don't need courage to change the things I can. I need courage to pull back and say, you know what? You can change that, Glenn, but should you? Right. Should you? You're on the C team. Should you clear the decks to be in that driver's seat, right? Should you be in the driver's seat? Right. And so that's what that tells me, too, is I don't need courage to change the things I can. I got a lot of balls. Right. Sure. And I got a lot of assertiveness, whatever term you want to use, right? But should I? So give me the discernment, give me the wisdom, and say, should I sit this one out and let it be? Or is this deep enough? Like I have a situation right now, where I'm working with a guy, and there's a situation, and now I can say, okay, do I accept this, or should I be the one to step in and suggest behavior change, right? And recognition, and sometimes when you step in leadership roles in different, you have to be the one to step in, right, to change things. I mean, if things are going wrong, right, there needs to be somebody with the guts to stand up and the leadership to change. So that's the only thing that I've changed. I think the wisdom to know the difference. I think a lot of that wisdom now is I just don't. I've programmed myself where very little bothers me in this world. Stuff that used to drive me nuts, how people drive. I could care less how other people drive. I can't control it, and or how other people treat me, right? And every time somebody treats me, I'm like, I think of my chocolate ice cream. I just wake up and try to be the best chocolate ice cream not everybody likes chocolate ice cream.
Right.
You know, so I'm just grateful for all the learnings in this program, and you've taught me so many of them, Mikey. You have really, you know, we had the chance recently to go camping.
It was fun. It was a blast. Yeah.
And
it was just unplugging. It was unplugging.
But it was so real, and I learned more layers of you. And when we listened to that song and what you're doing, I mean, you do so much. I probably know half of it, right? And so it was an opportunity just to learn about you more and dig in with you more, and with some other guys in a different environment.
Right.
It was just really cool. So you know what, a lot of times I think life is a grind, right? I mean, I got up this morning at 4:30. I didn't want to get up. My alarm's going off. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right.
Here's what I thought. I'm like, I have never missed. I'm okay to miss one.
Oh,
I thought that this morning. Well, I think that a lot.
And I was always,
but I
was always late. So my story was, I get here early. I get here early every time we have coffee sessions, right? I get here early because I don't know what's going to happen on the way there. I'm preparing, for an emergency, with the car. I think it was last week you mentioned you had a car, maybe it was this week. You mentioned a car with 190,000 miles on it. I got a car with 200,000 miles on it. I don't know that I don't know how many breaths it has left in it, right? So I get here early just in the event that something might happen.
Really?
And I'm sitting here, yeah, right? And I'm sitting here early, and I'm thinking, is Glenn going to miss? Is this going to be his miss? And every week you pull in at 5:59.
Do you really think that? Did you really think that
yes.
that I'm going to miss?
I do. I'm like, this will be the day he misses.
It doesn't matter how I feel.
No.
I show up.
Yeah, grateful. I think I'm
grateful.
almost
5 years, man. I've showed up.
Yeah, I know.
Never missed.
Never missed.
We have never missed. We've never missed a drop.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
That says a lot.
Enjoying one moment at a time.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving. I do like. I'll tell you another dark. I'll tell you another dark moment. Is at 9/11, I was going through separation and divorce, and at 9/11, I had the great idea. I'm going to go to New York City and volunteer. Right.
Okay.
My family didn't want me around.
Right.
So I went to New York City. I ended up getting the penthouse floor, the La Meridian, the top floor. Had a dining room table that sat 12 people. I mean, it was a beautiful overlooking Central Park, overlooking the Macy's Day Parade, and nobody would let me volunteer because everyone was scared about security. So it was like a 3-week process to get approved. So I'm sitting in this penthouse for a week by myself, nobody around. And it was dark, man. It was dark. I watched the Macy's Parade, which I love to watch on TV. I watched that from my penthouse. And you know what? Life was empty.
Oh, right.
Life had nothing in it, no value. I was lost.
Yeah.
And today I have purpose, man. I'm thankful for my purpose.
So you're not in a penthouse.
No.
But yet you have peace.
I could care less about a penthouse.
Yeah, right.
I could. There was a guy in the group the other night started talking about all his stuff, and it was almost like I felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
Because that's not what life's about.
No,
it's just not. And I love my car with 190,000 miles, and I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to buy a new one first, you or me.
I know. Well, who will buy one together?
Hey. 2 for 1.
We'll carpool the coffee.
Yeah, I love it. I love
I
love you. I'm thankful for you. Thanks for all you do. I love watching your family and just the love and how you serve them. And there's no surprise that our Thanksgiving session is about thankfulness and gratitude.
I know, right?
No surprise.
And I think everybody, even if you're newer in the program, just believe us when we say it'll build. That list is going to grow exponentially every day.
I love it.
Love it.
Love you, man.
All right, man. Have a great one.
Thanks for joining us for today's coffee chat. To contact the show, email us at podcast@Sober.Coffee. If you need immediate help, the AA hotline is 800-839-1686. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 800-273-8255. Remember, Mike and Glenn are sharing their own journey on the path to recovery. Any suggestions, medical or otherwise, are their own experiences and should not be viewed as professional advice. See you next week, and remember, there is a solution.